Tonight, I'm going to show you everything you need to make Buddy the Elf breakfast bark. Stick around. Greetings, my confectionery compadres, and welcome to Randy Makes Candy, where I help you make tasty treats that people love to eat. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving yesterday, and if you're one of those brave souls fighting the mobs at the mall today, be careful out there. The good news is that we've officially entered the Christmas season, which means the next few weeks are going to be filled with delightful holiday recipes that are going to be a lot of fun to make and eat. And what better way to kick things off than with this one? This bark is based on Buddy the Elf's breakfast spaghetti from the movie Elf, released in 2003. If you haven't seen it, just know that it's a comedy, and at one point the title character makes spaghetti for breakfast, but adds various sweet ingredients that no one in their right mind would add to spaghetti. I thought it might be fun to try and recreate that, so I'm using all of the original sweet ingredients, but I'm using crunchy chow mein noodles instead of spaghetti, because I refuse to put actual spaghetti in my candy. Unless it's an April Fool's Day episode. Never say never. As always, I'd love to hear about your results if you decide to make your own Buddy bark, as well as suggestions for other recipes you'd like to see in future videos. For this recipe, I used 2 cups of white candy melts, 3/4 of a cup of crunchy chow mein noodles, 2 regular chocolate frosted Pop-Tarts, 3/4 of a cup of miniature marshmallows, 1/2 cup of red and green mini M&Ms, 2 tablespoons of red and green sprinkles, 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, 1½ teaspoons of maple syrup, and 1/4 cup of dark chocolate melting wafers. I also used a large baking sheet, a silicone baking mat, a couple of bowls, a couple of spatulas, and a piping bag. Okay, let's make some candy. Break the Pop-Tarts into bite-sized pieces. In a large bowl, gently toss together the chow mein noodles, Pop-Tart pieces, mini marshmallows, about half the M&Ms, and about half of the sprinkles. Place the coconut oil in a small microwave-safe bowl and heat it for 10 to 15 seconds until it's melted. Add the maple syrup to the oil and set it aside. Melt the white chocolate in 30-second bursts, stirring between each one until it's completely smooth. Immediately pour the maple syrup and oil mixture into the melted white chocolate and stir until it's silky smooth. If it starts to thicken up, you can add a little more melted oil. Pour the maple white chocolate over the dry ingredients and fold everything together until it's completely coated. Work fast here because that white chocolate starts setting up pretty quick. Spread the mixture onto your prepared pan in a rough layer. Scatter the remaining M&Ms and sprinkles over the top, then press them lightly so they stick. Pop the whole thing in the refrigerator for 45 minutes to an hour until it's completely firm. Once it's set, cut or break the bark into whatever size pieces you'd like. Finally, melt the dark chocolate melting wafers in the microwave, stirring until smooth, then drizzle thin lines across the surface of the bark. And that's it! By the way, I'm sure there are some folks who would say that the drizzle should be done before the bark goes into the refrigerator rather than after it's chilled and cut. Those people would be right. I just forgot to do it. Somehow, though, I think Buddy the Elf would approve. Okay, let's have a taste. Sláinte. Holy holidays, Santa, this is phenomenal. I thought this would just be like a little novelty idea, something that'd be fun, but just taste okay. Boy, was I wrong about that. The creamy chocolates and then the crunchy noodles and candies are a great pairing, and the flavors are like a candy store exploded in my mouth. If you're a fan of Elf, or just love fun holiday treats that combine all your favorite flavors in one bite, you really ought to try these. 2.5 tablespoons of red, green, and white. Finally, melt the dark chocolate milk in...